What's going on, YouTube? We are back with episode 8, where I'm about to paint a 2020 Ford Mustang with the paint code JS. Right now, I'm putting adhesion promoter on a mirror cap that goes to a Tesla, a pearl white Tesla to be exact. That's why I have it in the front of the booth to stay away from the actual panels that I'm spraying on this car. So as you can see, I have a quarter repair. I'm blending into the trunk lid, and then I have another quarter repair. And then behind the car, I have a brand new bumper. All right, so with this particular color JS, the undertone called for G7, so I'm going to be sealing the brand new bumper with G7 sealer, and then I'm going to be getting into the one trick or tip that I've learned that'll save you time, save the company money on materials, and it'll just save you the headache of having to deal with a color not covering how you want it to cover. All right, so like in previous videos, I started with my edges, and then I'm going to split this bumper up into three. So right now I'm on the right side, and then now I'm in the middle, and then I will continue on with the other side of this bumper. The reason why I split bumpers up into different parts instead of just trying to base everything all in one pass is because it just helps me to make sure that everything is fully covered. And being that I'm putting sealer on this, I need everything to be properly sealed before I go applying my base coat. Alright, so with this job, I decided to go ahead and throw in a mirror cap that belongs to another car. The reason being is that it needed to go today, so it was just a mirror cap. So um, it is a pearl white. It goes to a pearl white Tesla Model Y, and the paint code is PPSW. I know y'all like, man, why are you putting G7 on a mirror cap that goes pearl white? Like, why would you do that, man? Well, the reason why is because I already had sealer mixed up, and it made more sense instead of mixing more product to go ahead and seal the mirror cap and then come back over the mirror cap with a base coat version of G1. And I'm actually going to put two coats of G1 on it, being that I sealed it with G7. I just want to make sure that it's completely covered with G1 before I start applying my first coat of base coat for the mirror cap. And just as a quick side note, the variant that I went with that mirror cap, being that it's just a mirror cap, was lighter times 6, and that is base and pearl mixed together. So you don't have to go through all that with two coats of base, two coats of pearl, and then a drop coat. You can just do two coats and a drop coat with that base coat variant. All right, so here's where we get to the part where I am about to apply something that a lot of painters probably know about, and if you don't know about, guess what? You're gonna find out today. So, being that this color, the color of this car is really dark, it's like a dark blue, so I'm going to be applying a black undertone. So even though it called for G7, I applied G7 sealer on the bumper because it's a brand new part, but on the actual panels of the car, I'm going to apply what I like to call G black. And I'm going to leave a description of how to mix up 12 ounces of G black in the description. All right, so let me go through that real quick. It is 75 parts of T407, 75 parts of T409, and then 258 parts of T406, finishing up with 37 parts of the T492 reducer. So if you missed that, the formula for this G Black will be in the description of this episode. So I applied the G Black to the bumper, and now I'm going to be applying this G Black to this quarter in every area where my bumper is actually going to be lining up together. So I applied it on the right side, the passenger side, and now I'm going to be applying it on the repaired area and the quarter where the bumper is going to be lining up on the driver's side. All right, so one good thing about using G Black on colors like these, speaking from a PPG painter, waterborne painter to be exact, sometimes some of these blues on these makes and models, they call for the toner of 412, which is a very transparent toner. And so what G Black does is it alleviates all the coats that you have to continue to put on to achieve coverage. So I know a lot of painters, what they do with colors that's going to cause them to apply a lot of coats. They like to under reduce their paint. But what I found, when you do that, it makes that color harder to blend because it's so potent. So when I'm painting, I like to, when I know I have to blend, I reduce my paint by 30%. But when I am not blending, I reduce my paint by 20%. So once again, that's 30% if you're blending and 20% if you're not blending, if you're painting just parts only. All right, here we go with the first coat of base coat. Hit my edges first. And as you can see, getting good coverage on the first coat of base coat. So I'm still splitting this bumper up into three. Painting the right side, then painting the middle, and then on to the other side. Nice and even consistency with a 50% overlap. Keeping the same flow. Nothing is too heavy. Everything is even. Alright, so moving on after I finish this side of this bumper, I'm going to be moving on to the car where I'm going to be laying down a wet bed using PPG's T490. I will leave a formula for that as well in the description. And basically what that is a clear base coat. I'm also spraying that with my iWater Supernova. But it's a clear base coat, and I'm applying that in all the areas where I want to blend my color into. Laying that down, it's not going to change my color because it's basically clear base coat, and it's basically preventing me from getting any sand piling, creating a seedy look after my refinish with my clear. And all that does is just add extra work for the cleaning up department, and every painter's goal is to get the cleanest job possible. So the way to prevent that is using T490 when spraying PPG's waterborne paint. Alright, so here we go with the first coat on my passenger side quarter panel. And if you can see, each pass I'm going to be releasing my trigger into that 490. And then same thing with the other side, covering up that G Black. I'm going to repeat the same step, angling my gun and releasing my trigger. So as you can see, the first coat of base coat over this G Black is working pretty good. And that is the benefit of applying G Black when spraying darker colors like this one. Alright, so I cannot forget about my mirror cap. So I'm going to apply another coat of G1 like I did before. And the only reason why I'm applying another coat of the base coat version of G1 is because I sealed it with G7, which is a darker sealer. And I want to make sure that that G7 is completely covered before applying my base coat, because I don't want my color to change. So it will be a darker tone if I do not make sure that it's completely covered, like what PPG recommends for white colors. So now I'm going to be doing something that I recommend everybody do when spraying colors like these is you get you a light with a good amount of lumens and check your coverage. Very, very important step. It saves you time from having to respray anything, from not being completely covered. And there's no fun in having to respray anything. So it's better to just get it right on the first time by checking your coverage with some sort of light. Um, and as you can see, I got everything covered on the first coat, but because PPG recommends me spray 2 coats and a control coat, that's what we're going to do. So on the next coat I'm going to be spraying, I'm going to speed the video up, and then after that I'm going to be applying the control coat. Alright, so once again, we're going to be going through, checking our coverage, making sure everything is completely covered because I'm about to lay down a control coat. So as you can see, that G Black really worked really good. Um, and that's just a really good tip when spraying colors like these. I think Chrysler or Dodge, they have one called PBU that if you use G Black as an undertone, it will save you a lot of time and energy. So yeah, just try it out. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. But yeah, it works really good. Finishing up this mirror cap, I'm doing a control coat, and now I'm about to do a control coat on the bumper, and then move on to the car, repeating the same steps that I did before. Alright, so one thing you will notice is that when I'm spraying my control coat, I speed up a little bit, and that's just how I spray to make sure that my metallics are laying down nice and even. And I spray at 13 psi, the same that I spray when I spray my base. So as you laying down your control coat, you want your control coat to go on not quite like your base, as heavy as your base, but you want it to go on with a mist. So you want it to be like you're misting that panel, and making sure those metallics are even. So once again, I'm laying down my wet bed, and then I'm going to be basically laying down a control coat everywhere where I have my color to make sure that those metallics are nice and even. And that's a very important step because a lot of times when you lay down a control coat, and if you are a little bit heavy in one spot, and your metallics are not laying down even, then it'll look really streaky and it'll look blotchy. And The way to fix that is to kind of bridge it and then continue on with a control coat. So very important to lay down your control coat nice and even the first time. That way you don't have to deal with any blotchiness or trying to cover up the tiger stripe look. All right, so once again, you want your metallics to lay down with a little bit of a mist, not as heavy as your base coat, but you want it to go down like as if you're misting your panel in every area where you blended your color out. So everything is looking pretty good. All of my metallics are looking good. Nothing is looking blotchy. And so now I have to come over here and put one more, actually put a control coat on this mirror cap. But I'm making sure that my base coat is completely dry before I apply a control coat, because that's very important, especially with pearls. And now I am ready for my clear coat. So let's get it. All right, so we are officially ready to lay down the first coat of clear coat. Using PPG's EC530, I'm going to be applying my first coat of clear. The flash time between each coat is 8 to 10 minutes, depending on the temperature that you're spraying with. And I am currently spraying at 95. So I usually put my first coat of clear on and then set a timer on my phone for 8 minutes and then come back in the booth and lay down my second coat of clear coat. So the gun that I'm using is an iWater Supernova, and they actually recommend you spray this gun at 29 PSI. I don't really like spraying at 29 PSI. Not that I want this gun to spray and atomize the clear like a solder would, but I found with spraying with 29 PSI is just too low of an air pressure for this gun. So I got word of some people using 39 PSI with this gun. So I tried it out and I actually liked it. So that's what I've been clearing with every time I use this gun. So one thing that's funny is that my first clear coat gun was a Solder 5000, and I still have that gun. I still use it. I use it on candies. I'll come in and spray my candy with it, and then I will let my iWater be the last gun that I use for my final coat of clear coat. All right, so getting back to it, when I'm laying down my first coat of clear coat, I don't like to get super heavy. Reason being is the first coat of clear, and you want to give yourself some grace when you're laying down that second coat of clear, and you don't want any run. You don't want it to run on you, or you don't want to get any sags or anything like that. So you want to lay it on, but you don't want to lay it on quite like your second coat. Second coat, after it flashes, you can come in and you can lay it on a little bit more heavier than you did the first coat. And it's very important to make sure that when you're spraying your clear coat that you are adjusting your gun as how the shape of the car is. Because if you just spray it the same way you would spray other cars, some cars require you to switch up the way that you spray. So you might want to angle your gun in different ways and to get in different areas or to cover different areas. So all in all, your flash time is very important when applying that second coat. Reason being, if you get on it too early, then it could run on you. And it can also solvent pop after the bake cycle. And if you get on it too late, then the longer that you wait after that time that it's flashed, the more it's going to look orange pilly. And I don't know if orange pilly is a word, but y'all know what I mean. It's going to look like an orange peel. Really grainy and like an orange. So as you can see, I have a 50% overlap. And I forgot to mention that this gun that I'm spraying with has a 1.3 fluid tip. Y'all let me know in the comments what type of guns that y'all use to clear. What type of if you have a 1-2 or a 1-3 in it, and let me know what y'all think is better, solder or iWater. Me personally, I can clear with either one of them. I'm a big fan of both of them, but I prefer an iWater. So let me know in the comments what y'all think. So on my second coat of clear, I'm going to go ahead and speed the video up, and then we're going to be getting into the final look of the car after it's been reassembled. All right, so this is the final look of the car before I put it on a bake cycle for 30 minutes at 165 degrees. So everything is looking pretty clean. It actually came out really nice. Really satisfied with this job. Um, I want to take the time to express my gratitude if you made it this far in this episode. If you learned something, feel free to comment. Let me know if you're a solder person or if you're an iWater person. And feel free to hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. But like always, I'm going to keep telling you in each and every episode, as a painter, stay humble and keep going.